Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's live Q&A. It's Jamie Hartley here, and I'm really excited this week. I'm feeling good. The sun's out here in the UK. Summer's kicking in. I've got really long hair, and lockdown's taking the effect on my hair. I'm going to let Katie loose on it. She's just here. You're going to say hi? I'm going to let Katie loose on it tomorrow. So, yeah, fun times. We've got all our usual guests here. We've got all the team. So let's introduce everyone.
Hello.
Danny.
Hi, guys.
Lawrence and Holland all in the building virtually.
In individual buildings. So let's get that clear.
The virtual live Q&A building. So first of all, in this week's Q&A, as always, before we introduce what we're doing, just get that chat going. Let us know where you're locked in from. I can already see some people letting us know they know the drill. We've got the regulars popping up. But let us know where in the world you're locked in from. And we're going to introduce some things around this week. So as you can see, we've done it the last few weeks. Lawrence has his equipment set up there, the DDJ 1000 SRT, and he's going to break down some really cool transitions and mixes and things that the audience have suggested, I think yesterday or the day before, or even today. I'm not sure when, but you've got some cool ideas to share, haven't you, Lawrence?
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yep, and he's going to break down those mixes, and we're going to get to one of those shortly. But before that, we asked a poll on YouTube, as you can see here. Hi guys, in this week's live Q&A, we want to know what topic you would like for us to discuss. And thanks to the 758 people that voted as of taking this screen grab, and there's an overwhelming response of people want to know how to set DJ goals and then how to achieve them. And coming in second, technical issues when DJing live, which I'm going to let Holland take charge of a bit later in the stream. But yeah, DJ goals, how to set and achieve them. We're going to chat about that to start with, but before we do, let's just shout out some people from around the world. So let's have a look. We've got hi from Ireland. We've got hi from South Africa. We've got someone from Mexico locked in. What else have we got? Another South Africa, Netherlands.
Holland.
We've got a few people from South Africa. Nice one. From the US.
Amazing.
Sunny Doncaster.
Donny!
There we go. Hi from Ghana. So really, again, worldwide, and we've just got to thank you all for tuning in today. It's going to be an exciting live stream. And what we're going to do is we're going to let you ask us as many questions as you like, obviously, throughout this stream. But to start with, we're going to talk a bit about setting goals, how to set them, how to achieve them, maybe some personal experiences around that, and some things that we've done in the past to help set and achieve goals as a DJ. But I think this goes beyond just being a DJ personally. I mean, everyone else, you know, we set goals in our day-to-day life, and I think the same approach applies when it comes to DJing. So I think if I start off, one of the things that I really like to do is when I'm setting my goals, I like to think of different stages. So we've got the long-term goals, and then to reach that long-term goal, you're going to have different stages to get there. There's different steps to it. There's different rungs on a ladder. However you want to visualize it, you've got to find what those steps are to get to that big end goal, because you can't set a big end goal without some sort of journey to get there. It doesn't just happen overnight for 99% of DJs and people around the world. There is a journey, and you've got to think about that journey, and the goals have to tie back to that journey. Everyone else feel a similar way? Danny, Lawrence, Holland?
Yeah. I feel the same.
Obviously, I've had somewhat 10 years, just over 10 years in the DJ industry now, and it's not just been one goal of I want to DJ at a certain club or I want to DJ at a certain festival. I've done lots of things throughout my career as a DJ, and the goals have changed throughout. So don't think in 5 years' time I want to be playing Tomorrowland and then that's it, I'm retired, I'm done. Think that it can, it's going to mold, it's going to change, and it's going to transform as you live your life. So the first thing I would say, I'm going to give a tip, and we'll go around and maybe give a few tips on setting goals. The first thing is get to your root. What is your core desire? What's your core passion? What do you think your little superpower is in the DJ industry? What can you offer the world in the DJ industry that maybe other people aren't offering at the moment? And if you can't think of anything, then think about yourself. What are your passions? Are you passionate about underground music? Are you passionate about certain skills? Are you passionate about the tech behind the DJ industry? And think about that superpower that you maybe have, or the superpower you want to try and showcase or unveil. And that's my kind of first tip, and the first thing that I'd say, look at yourself. and how you're going to approach it. Anyone else got any tips for that starting point? If we're setting goals and how to achieve them, what are some of these rungs on the ladder?
A big thing that I think is really important with any goals really is to not just think about them, but actually write them down. And I know it sounds super simple, but I feel like just writing it down just helps like solidify that like achievement. It really, like it's a clear vision of where you want to be. You've written it down. I think there was an interview that I saw of the Black Madonna, who's a DJ, and she wrote down, she had like 3 sticky notes, and she wrote down a list of things that she wanted to achieve, and within 3 years she did them. And I think it's just a really good way to, stay focused and, kind of remember what your actual goals are than just forgetting them and trying to change them,
Yeah, I think sticky notes are good because it's one of those things you can try and tick off some of those sticky notes, scrunch it up, throw it away, and replace it. Never just achieve a goal and don't replace that goal, because that's where you will suddenly get stuck. If you feel like you've hit a goal, that's great, but don't just celebrate and stop. You've got to replace your goals all the time.
I think having that visual thing as well helps keep you inspired.
Yeah.
It's not just a memory or a thought. It's a visual thing, like a physical thing that's there, and it kind of helps you keep going, I think.
Yeah. Lawrence, any tips for you setting goals?
I am literally living proof of that exact thing. I was doing my kind of club scene for quite a while, a few years, and it was getting a little bit monotonous, and it was a good wage, so I wasn't complaining, but it was same gigs. I knew the kind of thing I was going to play, and I just got a bit stuck and a bit bored, so I literally wrote down on, I think it was a Facebook post maybe, so it was kind of even more literally kind of held me to account. So it was kind of things like, okay, I want to make 100 videos this year. I want to do 50 mixes. I want to play at 2 festivals. I want to get like 20,000 Facebook likes. I want to get 10,000 Instagram followers, etc., etc. And yeah, within a year, Facebook, I forgot that I'd even wrote it, because when I started doing, like, putting all his energy into these kind of numbers that I've written down subconsciously, a lot of other things started to happen, and a lot of things started to snowball. I think I blitzed all of the numbers within like 3 months, like 4 months. And then Facebook Memories came up with the post of it like a year later, and literally every metric was like tripled. It was like 45,000 likes on Facebook. It was like 3 million plays on SoundCloud, etc. And so yeah, definitely writing them down, and even more so letting other people see them, posting it on one of your socials, or telling your friends them, so you can be held accountable for it.
I really agree with the accountability thing. It really goes a long way into achieving your goals. We're talking about setting them, but there's no good setting goals if you don't then put some actions in place to achieve them. And by putting it out there and saying to people, this is what I'm going to achieve, and making it public knowledge, it holds you accountable. You don't want to let yourself down and let everyone else, think that you can't do that. So it's always niggling in the back of your mind. I must do this. Just talking about this. So then setting smaller actionable things, something that I always used to do coming up through, you maybe say the ranks as a DJ, is I'd look at other DJs around me who were the next step up from me, who were maybe the next in their journey, where I want to go next. And I think, well, what have they done that I'm not doing? What are they doing now that's maybe different to me? And learn from their both mistakes and their wins. And I used to always think, well, if I was in that DJ's position, I'd maybe think about doing more of this and less of that, and look from an outside perspective and use other people as inspiration, use other DJs as inspiration, and just, really use that to your advantage.
Yeah, I think people get scared of copying other people. And yeah, obviously you can. It's really hard to rip off someone directly, because everyone's got different personalities. But take inspiration from, like, just choose like maybe 3 of your favorite DJs. What are they doing well? Are they social popping? Are they great at mix? Are they the best mixer you've ever seen? Are they great at scratching? And pick little things of each of your favorite DJs to use, like, and benefit yourself.
Yeah, fully agreed. Holland, do you have any last tips just at this stage in the Q&A and in the live stream of setting goals?
I agree with everything that everyone else has said. The only thing I maybe had done differently with the accountability side of things is I personally don't like setting my goals and making them public. I like setting my goals, keeping them in my head, And then if I still have the desire to achieve them, I'm not trying to get away from the accountability bit. I just think sometimes if you set a goal and you don't quite reach it for whatever reason, it can be if it's made public and it's quite accountable, you can sometimes then get demotivated by the fact you've not hit it, when realistically there might be other factors at play. So I like to set targets in my head, or maybe just privately, like Danny said, write them down, but not publicly put them out there. So when I do achieve them, I can still feel the same elation. You know, everyone will see what's happened, but obviously if you don't make it, you can just have that little bit of time, not get too pressured by it. Because if you start to force things and try to push things through, you know, like Loz said about hitting a certain amount of followers, that's something that you can put out all the content in the world, you might not still hit that target.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So, and then you could feel pressured into like going out and buying the followers, which is the wrong route. So
for me, it's like I needed that pressure because I was in a monotonous kind of place DJ wise.
Well, I mean, every DJ is different.
Exactly.
Everyone is different. And just work to what works for you best.
Absolutely.
But understand your own goals. Understand how controllable they are. Because some things you can't force, and if you try and force, you'll do it wrong. So that's all I
But one thing I do know is if you don't do anything, then you won't get nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
great point.
Keep on and hustle.
So everyone in the chat, we're live on YouTube and on Facebook. People are jumping in the chat with some good suggestions. Stephen Crow on YouTube says, look up the SMART goal setting method. That is a very popular one. I just want everyone to jump in the chat now. If you've got any specific tips that you can share with the community, ways that you set goals and achieve them, and maybe stories of things that have happened to you in the past where you've set a goal and acted upon it and how that's worked out for you, would be great in the chat. We're going to get around to the Q&A. Obviously, this is a Q&A, but we're structuring it a bit different this week, just trying out talking about a topic, and then after Lawrence's mix that he's going to jump into in a moment, you guys can fire away your comments and I'll start looking through and adding some to the screen and we'll start answering them. And it's an open format Q&A. But first, let's have a mix, Lawrence. I know you've got quite a few lined up, so let's go for it. Let everyone know what you're going to work on first. And while Lawrence is doing that, everyone think about their comments as well and the questions that they want to ask.
So, a great comment came from last week. Somebody one of the Crossfader fans who was disabled and he only had one arm, and he said, you know, how far can I go in DJing? Is it shall I stop now kind of thing, or can you still be technical? So he challenged me to kind of do a mix with one arm. So I put that together with, we put out every week things that you want to hear, like genre mixes. So somebody said they wanted to hear some Moombahton with some tropical, so we'll try that. And I'm going to put one arm behind my back. I've not even practiced this, so here we go.
Good luck.
All you ladies pop your pussy like this. Like this.
There you go.
Nice. Smashed it with one hand as well.
Who knew you only needed one hand to DJ?
There you go. So thanks for showcasing that, Lawrence. Obviously, it was something that this person has emailed us through the website and has also been on the live stream last week. I'm not sure if he's with us this week. If you are, obviously jump in the comments and we'd love to see you here. Obviously, if not, we'll email you back and you can watch back to the replay. But everyone feeling that? Have we got some fire emojis in the comments yet? And any of the regulars know?
Yeah, we do.
I think DJ Romalo's got a fire emoji. Nice to see you, Romalo. I know you're a regular on the live stream.
Yep, big up Romalo.
Any planning gone into that, Lawrence?
Not too much. I've got 2 songs that were in key, so the build-up sounded pretty cool, and I just had the vocal here
All you ladies pop your pussy like
before it
this.
drops, and then I got a 4-bar loop going, and then kind of brought the loop down in for 2 beats, 1 beat, right down to about a half beat. Got rid of that, hit the brake on this side, and then as this one kicks in, on this side, I'm just playing with the...
All you ladies pop your, all you ladies pop, all you ladies pop, all you ladies pop your pussy like this. All you ladies, all you ladies, all you ladies pop your pussy like this.
Yeah, so pretty simple.
Nice. Right, I like it. So I think if everyone wants to start dropping questions in now, we'll answer some of your guys' questions in the comments, both on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm just going to look through the comments really quick and let's start adding some to the chat for people to answer. So what have we got here? We've got people saying, Nathan on Facebook, guys, I used to DJ using vinyl records about 15 years ago, looking to get back into it, but using a controller rather than turntables. Good luck. I think, yeah, that's a good shout, Holland. Do you want to explain what that is?
If you're trying to bridge the gap, a really easy way of getting into digital DJing whilst retaining vinyl is DVS. Serato made it famous, I think, probably most, but it's a method of controlling your controller and your laptop through using vinyl, timecode vinyl. So Serato does it, Tractor does it, Record Box does it, so the big 3 are covered. But it retains the use of your vinyl. You can still go back to what you know and how you feel. And it works quite similar, especially in absolute mode. So that could be an easy way of getting into it. Just look for a DVS-enabled controller when you're looking to buy one, and you can plug your turntables in. And then as you progress, just unplug them and carry on with your controller.
Nice. Antivirus UK on YouTube says, what's the best 2-channel mixer for a pair of ex-DJ players? I'm going to go for DJM 450 because it kind of...
I wanted that one.
Yeah, I think DJM 450, it's a great 2-channel mixer. And obviously it keeps it in line with Pioneer, and it'll all work nicely together.
Can you use a scratch with that? Pneumatic scratch?
You could, yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
But
450 is a beast, though.
I think
Especially
if you've got ex-DJ players,
Yeah.
you're looking at more mixing rather than scratching and cutting. But yeah, Pneumatic Scratch is also a great 2-channel mixer. Shout out to Anna De Jong saying, just got your advertisement on this live stream. If anyone's not seen it yet, we've got a really cool video. When we made this advert, Danny spent a lot of time putting the edits in. But it starts with, are you a DJ? And it says bedroom DJ, club DJ. Obviously no clubs are open at the moment, so it kind of it doesn't quite translate as well at the moment. But
really, I was reading something the other day. A web popped up, one of the companies that I'm reviewing at the moment, and I looked at it. It said on the headline, it said, "Are you a DJ?" It's like the headline of the thing. I just read it in James' voice. I was just like, "Are you a DJ?"
Right, Zigzag on YouTube says, how do DJs create music by using a software? Now, Danny, you've got a lot of experience in this. Just what is the first thing that a DJ would do using the software? What software do you use?
For production, Ableton. That's my go-to. It used to be Logic, but I found my workflow was a lot better in Ableton. I'd say going from being a DJ into that world of production, I think the best way to approach it would be to be making your own edits rather than just making songs straight away, or even remixes. Like if you can get your hands on acapellas from places like DJ City, stuff like that, you can, if you've got an idea in your head, it's a great way to, be able to just get that out there. And it also makes your sets very unique as well, I think, having those kind of tools that are just exclusive to you.
Yeah, 100%. Got a big up Ableton every time. So I've got another one here. Where's it gone? How do I scratch from Chris? How do I scratch? It's so hard. It's gone all over the place when I do it. I'll say, first of all, scratching takes a long time to learn and master. It's something you have to nurture and practice over and over and over. And it's this muscle memory that you've got to build up in your hands. Obviously, we do have an online scratching course if you want to learn and have it broken down and learn along with scratch tools that we've got that you can load into your software and follow along, then
I'll tag the free lesson below if anyone wants a free lesson.
Yeah, we'll do that after this video gets re-uploaded. But yeah, obviously we've got a scratching course, but just Lawrence, what's your experience with scratching?
I mean I've been scratching since I started, and I'm nowhere near kind of the top level scratchers. I'm kind of a club level scratcher. Like I can get away with it in a club and things like that, but these guys that are top of the game, it's unbelievable muscle memory, and it's something you can learn transitions and mixing. For example, there's an aid like for example a sync button if you're learning to mix, so you can hear what two songs sound like perfectly in sync. But to scratch, you're literally going to have to sit there and watch somebody scratch, and then you're going to stop it and then do it again. So it's it's just a long-winded process, and again it's just repetition, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So you just got to really stick with it. And but once you do get there, it is a lot of fun and looks really cool in the clubs and on videos and things like that. So
I will say with scratching is that it comes down to understanding music and the timing of music and the structure of music just as much being able to move something forwards and backwards. You've got to really understand the rhythm in music, and that's what makes scratching sound really interesting and unique. So don't just focus on how fast you can move your hand, for example, on a scratch sound. Think about how you can play along to the music, and that's my quick tip. Now, apologies for the really long, I don't know if this is going to just take over the whole screen or not work. Oh yeah, that doesn't really work, does it? Duncan Sparks on Facebook.
That's massive. That's good.
But he said, "Hi guys, I recently tried SoundCloud Go Plus within Rekordbox. Unfortunately, I found a load of tracks on my SoundCloud playlist failed to load on Rekordbox. And to cut a long story short, he's saying, I understand it's up to the artist whether they want to share their music through the streaming services. And I confirmed this with Serato recently. I asked them, I said, will all SoundCloud Go tracks show up in Serato? And basically, no, they won't. If that particular artist, say Danny, who's producing a song right now in his bedroom, uploads it to SoundCloud, he can say, I don't want it to go on their streaming service. And then that's where it won't show up in Rekordbox or in Serato or in your DJ software because the artist has chosen against it. So that could be a problem moving forward. He was asking, do you think it will be a problem moving forward? I think with there not being control, maybe it is going to be a problem, but you've just got to bear it in mind, I think.
It's still such a ridiculous thing in 2020. It's just like, just let us have the music. It's ridiculous, especially like we're out in clubs around the world playing, repping your music, wanting to play your stuff out everywhere, and it's just like, why would you take that? As the great Kanye West said, let the kids have the music.
Kanye West might have said that, but I'm pretty sure Jay-Z and Kanye for a long time their collab stuff's only on Tidal. So
Kanye didn't give Jay-Z any music now.
Yeah, well, it's only on SoundCloud that they get the choice, though, isn't it? Everything else on other streaming platforms has been released by the labels and is accessible. So maybe sometimes it's out of their control. Something they're not allowed to distribute. They don't want to do that. And there's this whole nature about having dub plates and VIPs and stuff. There's a lot of artists out there that will not release some VIPs because only special people can have them. So
there's a lot that comes into it as well. When artists put these tunes out, like I didn't realize until I started making music. And it was like I had to get set up on like PRS, which is like a licensing thing over here in the UK, and like distribution and stuff, and learning how that works. And it's not a 2-minute process to just go and upload your song to Spotify or iTunes or things like that.
A lot of people.
With SoundCloud, it's a lot easier. But they've recently, like Jamie said, they brought in this whole process of like monetizing your music, which is quite a new thing for them, but. Yeah, like, I think it's only going to get better and easier as time goes on.
Yeah. Jam on YouTube said to all the team, what kind of music do you not like to play? Apart from crazy genres that I don't know anything about, like Gabba. Do you know what? Of genres that I like, that I appreciate, I think trance is one that, and you're maybe the opposite, Holland, but trance is one that I'm never drawn to. I don't enjoy mixing it, but I like trance. But I don't personally. It's not my go-to.
It's
for
long
mixing.
to mix. It is long,
and I like to get creative with other genres. So that if it was a genre that I like but don't like to DJ with, then I'm gonna go trance.
I'm gonna say grime and excessively urban music. I do a lot of it in my sets. I have to do. It's popular. it's just I always find, and Loz might either agree or disagree with this, but I find that you can take the energy to a point where you're bordering on starting a riot almost, and you got to toe that fine line. It's enjoyable when you get it right, but as a genre that's not my first genre, I always find myself like when I'm playing it, I'm like, okay, no, that's not enough. Oh, that's too much, and I'm not 100% comfortable with where the line is drawn with that genre, so I don't enjoy playing it as much. But I do still play it.
Danny?
I can't really think of one that I don't like. I mean, really, I'd say probably like indie music and rock music, because you don't really mix it. Like,
that's the thing. Yeah,
I mean, you can mix it. I'm not saying you can't, but it's like it's not.
It's just press play and stop usually.
It is like when you hear most DJs playing it,
and
there might be the odd occasion, but
you have to let the songs play all the way out as well.
You do as well, yeah.
I'm gonna. That's it. Indie challenge coming on. I'm gonna do this.
do it. Right. Armajed said best effects for transitions.
Echo.
All of them.
they're all good for different reasons, but echo is the most common. It's the easiest one to kind of add to your transitions, but don't be afraid of just sticking with echo. All the effects are there to get creative with, so really experiment with them.
Anything post fader, really.
I think
anything helps blend.
Reverb, echo,
delay,
spiral is good for tech house.
All of them.
Yeah, they're all good. We've got so many questions coming through here on YouTube, but I want to get back to you, Lawrence, and do another mix. So let's just break off. Let's get another mix going on, and we'll get back to the questions very shortly.
Okay, next mix, guys, came from Instagram, and it is how to mix dubstep into hip hop. So here we go.
Fake records. Fake records.
Nice.
There you go.
You know what? I really enjoyed that, and then I just wasn't expecting the switch up at the end, which was a nice surprise. I just threw some some extra skills in there. So break it down, Lawrence. What's going on here?
Yeah, so using I can only do that with I'm using 3 channels here. So on the channel 1 and 2, I've got the Flux Pavilion bass cannon. Then I've got the acapella of Dead Prez Hip Hop, and then just queued up on deck 3 is the intro to Hip Hop Array. So it's just a case of making sure that's queued up beforehand, and then the dubstep tune and the acapella are in time, and it's about playing around with it. And then it's just as it comes to the end of the drop from the dubstep tune, we just kind of up the tempo with the hip hop. So I've got a cue point on hip, cue point on hop. So it's a bit of wordplay to finish it.
Nice. That was strong. And I think one of the key things to take away from that is learning the timing, because you're playing with 2 different BPMs there. So if you're juggling around with hot cues, you've really got to be confident at getting straight into the new timing of that next genre and being able to play along in time with a different beat. So that's something you can practice with hot cues, is just tapping them away on beat to different genres to really perfect your timing. I think that's a great thing that everyone can take away from it. So thanks a lot for that, Lawrence. We'll get another mix coming up soon. So I'll do one or two more questions, and then I know that.
I'll tell you what, Jimmy. Can everyone let me know if they want either a Fisher mix or a Disclosure mix? So just put Fisher or Disclosure in the chat, and whichever one comes up, I'll do next.
I'd like Disclosure, please.
I also want Disclosure. I've just commented.
Okay, everyone get commenting. Okay, a few more questions, then I'm going to come to Holland about when it goes wrong in the club and little ways to maybe get yourself out of it and little tips for that, because it was one of the things in the poll from YouTube. Let me just bring that back up, that people want to know about technical issues when DJing live. So let's just answer one or two questions that are popping up, and then Holland, whenever you're ready. So Sebastian on YouTube said, looking for speakers for a home setup, but that can be used for small gigs like 50 people. Is Rocket 4 or 5 an option? Any recommendations? Regards from Chile. I think maybe Rockets maybe aren't powerful enough. What would you say, Holland?
I'd say they are small for a party.
Yeah.
They're loud enough for a DJ at home.
Great for home. Beyond that,
8s, I think.
yeah.
8s,
Rocket
yeah.
8s. Awesome.
Yeah, I've done parties with about 100 people with 8s. So, yeah, 8s will be fine.
Yeah, 8s.
Nice.
I'll get a sound box.
Yeah. Soundbox is always a good shout. Cass PA on YouTube said, to play at local clubs and beach bars, should I use a non-laptop controller to work? And how do I ask for playing there when I'm 18 and have no important professional experience? I just started saying prior experience. First of all, it doesn't matter what you use as long as the club's happy with it, which they should do, or the bar. I think whatever you're most comfortable with, it just needs to have some professional outputs on it. I would say, especially if you're going into their sound system, it definitely needs some professional outputs, like XLRs. If you want to go for a Denon, if you want to go for a Pioneer controller with a laptop, it doesn't. I don't think it really matters. But you were saying also, let me just bring that back up. If you're playing there when I'm 18 and have no prior experience, and this is obviously a big thing. I started DJing when I was 15, and as you turn of age, when you can go and work in clubs, you're desperate to get out there, you're desperate to work. But if you don't have any prior experience, are people going to trust you enough to put them on? And I think it just comes down to showcasing your skills, showcasing just why you think you're good enough for that venue when you're only 18 and haven't played in other clubs before. And that comes down to your presence, your brand, the ways that you showcase yourself online can really help. But also it does come down to who you know as well, getting in there with promoters, getting in there with people who book DJs. You've got to get into those circles as well, and I think it goes hand in hand. Anyone else got any tips for if you've just turned 18?
It's better. It's better than being kind of an older age where you might not be going out as much. At least as you're coming up through and you're meeting other people in your area that like your similar kind of music, and you just you'll find that you bond relationships with people in the same industry, and you'll build friends with them as you're coming up of age as well together. So you'll create good networks just around kind of the passion that you love for music and DJing, really. So and just be patient with it as well.
Definitely patience. I just want to add to that question, because someone else has put, DJ Dougie's put, would you say it's possible to send mixes out to bar owners in my local area and be able to start doing gigs if I only have been DJing for 5 months in my bedroom?
Yeah.
As long as you're confident and you feel like you can rock that crowd, then yeah. I would also say go to those bars regularly and know what you're going to get yourself in for. Don't expect to play a gig that you haven't experienced yourself, especially if it's in a local town. You're not an artist yet. You're just trying to play in your local area. Go and experience, so you know exactly what to play and how to rock that crowd from other experiences you've had in that venue. So, Holland, do you want to have a quick chat about technical issues when DJing live? Have you had any technical issues that you've had clever ways of coming out of them? Let's not get too technical with people.
We're not getting too technical, yeah. The most obvious one is when you have an audio cutout. It's one we've all experienced. I know everyone in this in Crossfader has, and I'm sure the comments will light up saying that, yes, I've lost audio as well. With that, the easiest way and the best way to look at everything when it goes wrong in the DJ booth is always go to the source. So this is the best advice I can give to anyone. Go to the source of the problem. So if your audio stopped, look at your deck that's playing the audio. If it's a laptop, look at the laptop. Is the waveform scrolling? Yes. Then look towards your mixer. Is my mixer showing the VU meter, the LEDs that flash to show volume? Is that flashing? Yes. Is the master flashing? If the master one's not flashing, you might have accidentally knocked the crossfader. It's as simple as that. And then you look at the master. Yeah, the master's flashing. Then you know at your end, you're cool. Like, it's got to be something to do with the amplifiers of the speakers. But always check by going back to the source, go back to wherever the music's coming from and work your way up. Don't just stand there and flap or, get hot-headed or worry or panic. Keep calm, keep cool. The faster you can resolve the problem, the better. Second bit of advice I can give you is how to recover from an issue, say, such as something like that. These cables are always worth carrying in your bag. This is a 3.5 millimeter TRS cable, so it's a headphone jack. To RCA, plug one of them in your mixer at the start of every gig, plug that into your phone, and leave a track on your phone. Just leave a track ready to go, and make sure it's a what I'd call like a crowd pleaser. So here in the UK, and I think around the world actually, you can get away with like Crazy Love by Beyonce, things like that. And just literally have something. So if everything goes down, whatever happens, when you go back to playing, make sure I've got a folder in my Serato called, it's called Save My Ass. So you click in there, and I've got like 5 or 6 really big tunes from each genre. And I just go straight in with that. So whatever the problem may be, go with that. If you've had a fire alarm, might be worth playing a song like The Roof Is On Fire as a bit of a joke. Try and break the ice again with the crowd. Get yourself leveled back out, cool yourself down, and crack on. Just keep calm, collected, and I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine after something's gone wrong.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to drop one more question here, then I need to tot up who's won, whether it's Fisher or Disclosure. So Mark Hogan on YouTube said, do you create certain tracks, say, on Ableton, then transfer over to Serato, like acapellas and an instrumental with hot cues to make it easier to switch it up more? I'm guessing he's pulled that from watching what Lawrence has been doing in these little mixes. Lawrence, do you want to kind of expand on that? Do you do that?
I used to, but I don't anymore. No, I do it within inside my Serato software. So just as you saw there, where I've got two an acapella at the same speed as a bass, a dubstep tune. That one of them was 75, one was 80. So I just put them down to match 75. Then I just kind of re-record it back in at 75. If I'm going to layer the tune on top of another tune for a routine. Now, luckily for you guys, I've just literally filmed this week with Crossfader how to do this, how to do a mashup. So it will be out in the next week or two of exactly how to do it without any, Ableton or Logic or anything like that. So yeah, I do it with inside. I make routines with inside of Serato and our record box.
Nice. I'm just trying to look through, and it's quite balanced, Lawrence.
I think we're going to have to do both, mate. I think we'll do Fisher first because Fisher got off to a flying start, and then I think Disclosure caught him up at the end. So
okay,
it's fine. We'll do both.
Nice.
We'll do both.
We're going to treat them. Are you going to do them one after each other, or?
We'll do one. Have a chat, and then I'll finish. Maybe we'll finish on Disclosure, something like that.
Sweet.
Here we go.
You got me burning up with your
Major Tom to
crowd control.
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 Major Tom to
Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control.
Major Tom to
Crowd control.
Get on the dance floor.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
I'm losing
There you go.
Let's see those fire emojis. Let's see them. I mean, that leads on. That was one that you've done in
Yeah.
the past where you've broken it up in
Yeah.
Ableton, is it, or in a software, or even in Serato? Did you just say and record
that was-
separate
yeah.
sections in?
Yeah, leading it on from like the last question, that was all done. So I've got all these cue points into one track. So we've got
Major Tom to
Crowd control.
Music make you lose control.
so these are all on one track. So I've got them all to like say like 125 BPM, and then just recorded them all into one track, and then just set the cue points.
Music.
Same with this side, and then just practice the routine over and over again. Yeah, and that was one we put out on Instagram maybe over a year ago, and I still like to play that in sets now, just as if maybe like a starting set to kind of show off and make the crowd, kind of be like, oh, what's going on here, kind of thing. So yeah, that's Fisher Mix.
Nice. Do you want to get the disclosure one loaded up? You promised them both, or are you going to do that at the end?
Should we do it at the end to finish off?
Okay, yeah. We'll keep them waiting. Okay, Holland ATM said
Hello.
lagging waveform, cracking in record box, bad software or laptop. Bad track, software or laptop.
Ooh, there's an easy way of telling if it's the laptop by checking your CPU usage whilst playing. Serato has a really handy indicator underneath the time. If you ever look underneath the clock, and there's a little bar. I know he said it's in Record Box. I believe
There
Record Box has a similar tool.
There is.
Check. If that's up there and flashing and really high, bad laptop, or laptop that's not good enough. Chances are you're probably just pushing it too far. Go into your audio settings, find the USB buffer size. This may also be called audio latency, and just extend that a little bit. Wind it off a little bit if it is crackling, and you should be okay. You can check if it's the track just by playing it in a different application. Play it in iTunes. So there you go.
Nice. Latch on YouTube said, I ordered a DJ controller and it'll come in a few days. Is there anything you can tell me as a beginner DJ? Watch Crossfader videos doesn't count. I already watched many of them. Well, thank you so much for watching them. I would say, while you don't have DJ equipment there, listen to as much of the music you want to mix as possible. Just listen to it. Let it soak into your subconscious. Listen to it while you're cooking or whatever you're doing. Just day to day, have it going on in the background. And what happens is you start to soak in the structure of the music. And when you come to mix it, you'll start to understand maybe where a drop is coming. You'll be able to feel, okay, that's the drop, or that's a new phrase. When you're talking about the structure of music, we need to know what instruments come in at what point, so that when we're mixing, we know whether to blend at that point or not. So that's my main tip, is when you don't have DJ equipment, just listen to as much music as possible. And don't get caught up on trying to do anything fancy when you first get that piece of equipment. Don't try and press all the buttons and make some crazy routine. Just start doing the basics. So, yeah, that's my main tip. Anyone else got any tips for those super beginners out there?
Just play the music that you love as well. So you won't get bored. If you're playing like music that you absolutely love, don't think you have to play, because a local club DJ is playing one kind of way. Just play the music that you like to love, and then it's just fun. Then it's less pressure on you, kind of learning how to DJ. It's just more of a fun thing that you're learning how to do on your own time.
Nice. Right, I'm just looking. So this one comes up a lot with live streaming at the moment. Dave on YouTube said, "Hey, I love your videos. Where can I learn more of copyright music? And if I want to mix popular songs, how can I do so?" I'm guessing, are we talking about using copyrighted music? There's two things here: getting around copyright when you're live streaming, and also where you get that kind of music from to mix with in the first place. I think buying music, I know a few people are asking about where to buy music in different places in the world, and are there any paid subscription sites, and people are recommending different record pools, which are great. But yeah, commercial music record pools are great because you get intro versions, which mean they add like a 16-bar instrumental at the start of the song, which you wouldn't find on just a radio edit of a song, and it'd make it really hard to mix a radio edit. It can be done, but if you have an intro, it's going to be much easier as a DJ. So record pools are a great place to source music from. You can obviously buy music from things like Amazon Music, and I think, do Apple Music still, not the streaming service, but do iTunes still sell music?
Yeah, you can still buy music, yeah.
You can, yeah.
And then getting around copyright and playing copyrighted music in your sets. I mean, what have we said?
Mixcloud, Twitch.
Yeah, use different streaming services, or just try and be clever about it. I'd say use remixes of songs. Maybe don't go for the original mainstream version. Try and find some remix or re-edit that someone's done, and it might work, it might not. But we've had problems. We've streamed, Holland, you streamed on Instagram, and our Crossfader Instagram got blocked.
Yeah, got taken down straight away. Yeah, it was a good day, that.
Yeah, it got taken down and blocked. So it doesn't, we're all struggling with it, and it's something we're just having to work through at the moment. Right, so what else have we got? Is it possible to... Here we've got DJ Dougie saying, is it possible to do a full-time job such as an aircraft engineer? Amazing. And be...
That's a big job.
Yeah, and be a DJ part-time. Kind of drawn to doing both, but my brother is a resident DJ at Why Not nightclub in Edinburgh.
I've played
DJ
there five times. I played at Why Not. It's the nicest club in Scotland. It's an amazing place. I played there at least 5 times.
Nice. You probably know him then.
Really
know his brother anyway.
This is the only time where I'm looking at that and going, I've done both. I've done day job, I've done night job at the same time, and I know how tired I've been. Working on an aircraft, I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure I'd be doing that tired. But I did make it work, but I didn't have a job as responsible as that. So only you would know, I would imagine.
Yeah, it depends whether he's like learning. Did he say if he's a beginner? Then there's no pressure to kind of start thinking about second income. Just start DJing for fun, and then you never know where that will lead to. But if you're trying to make a conscious decision, then that is a tough one. I mean, I do it. I work at Crossfader on the day. I DJ at night. I mean, it can be done. It's just there's not a lot of sleep involved.
Maybe just kind of like keep your DJing to weekends when you're not working the day, and then see how that goes, and then. If you feel like you can handle it, take more on slowly. Don't just go full in straight away.
I think that's great advice.
Yeah. Really good advice. Don't end up like me drinking Red Bull every minute. It's not good.
No,
it's not life.
Yeah, don't rely on anything else to get you through it. Lee Ellis, someone's just jumped in the chat here saying, I'm a full-time civil engineer and DJ on the weekends, and it's tough. Right. And we know so many working DJs that also work, a 9-to-5 job, and I see how tired some of them get.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, hats off to anyone who can do a day job as well. Because I mean, even when I was just a full-time DJ, I'm sure we've all been in that position where you're driving back from a gig and you are so tired just from DJing. It's like I don't know how some people can do it through the day as well.
Yeah.
Red Bull.
Lawrence, how many more mixes have you got? Have you only got the disclosure one, or have you got another?
Yeah, one more, mate.
All right, we'll hold them off. We'll hold them off just for another 5 minutes. I'm excited for the disclosure one.
I am.
We've got a good question here from MPI87 on YouTube saying, can I use any music to learn how to beat match or use simple instrumentals? Now, in our Crossfader courses, the beginner courses, we've made Crossfader DJ tools, which are simplistic beats, and I would highly recommend using something simple. It's got a lot of repetition. House music is great for learning to beat match, and just basic drum loops will work really well. Start as simple as you can. Really get used to the structure of music and how the beats line up, when they sound good, when they sound bad, how far apart are the beats when they sound bad, and really practice on working a track in and out, and just keep it simple. Try and use instrumentals. Vocals will start throwing you off because you start tuning into the vocal. Oh, we've lost Danny.
Where's Danny gone?
Bye, Danny.
Try and get him back.
Bye, Danny.
He's gonna miss out on the disclosure mix. I made that. I did a dubstep one for him.
Sorry, hey. I don't know what happened
there.
Right. My bad.
We've got Danny back. Although I'm just looking at. Oh no, we're right. The handles are still in the right place. Cool. Welcome back. Cool. So let's do the disclosure mix now.
Yeah.
And then we'll get some final questions in at the end. So Lawrence, take it away.
Okay. Here we go.
out, shake that, do you pass out, freak that, do you pass out, work that, do you pass out, bang that, do you pass out, shake that, do you pass out, freak that, do you pass out, work that, do you pass out.
Because I played the fool for you. 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 Now I've got you in my space. I won't let go again. Got you shackled in my embrace. I'm latching on to you. Just noise, white noise, just noise, white noise.
There you go, boys.
Nice.
Nice.
Love the air horn at the end.
Yeah.
Fuck, mate.
I'm a big fan of Disclosure, especially the new stuff that's coming out. It's great.
Mm.
It's great. I just need clubs and festivals to start up again.
Clubs, we need clubs, festivals, bars. 100%. I mean, I'll take people in my garden at this point.
Anything to break down in that you want to share?
So
with-
exactly the same as the last one. Is if you follow our Instagram, we do a lot of these artist mini mixes, and they're all similar in structure. Whereas I've got maybe 4 or 5 songs on one channel, all set by cue point. Same on the other side, and then it's just repetition on where the drops come in and learning how to transition between them both. There at the end there with a Sam Smith a cappella. Initially, I was just looping it at the end, going like looping the U at the end, but then I thought about just taking it up a notch and messing about with the timings, and I thought that sounds a bit cooler. So I tried it a few times, and a lot of practice.
Nice. Love it. If you want to check out more of these artist mini mixes, there are loads on our Instagram. You can see our Instagram handle just here at We Are Crossfader, and Lawrence has worked through loads of different artists. And feel free to reach out to him.
Yeah, I'm running out of people. So any artist you want, I'm running out. So anyone you want, we've just done a DJ Fresh one. So anyone you want, let me know.
And you're in the DMs on Instagram, aren't you, Lawrence? So just drop him a DM on there, and he'll pick it up. So. Few more questions before we finish up today. I just want to highlight this one. David on YouTube said, do you have any classes for beginner DJs using new Denon gear? Yes, we are just adding it to the website right now. So in the next week, next week to 10 days, just sometime around then, keep an eye out. It's coming, and then we'll have intermediate and advanced courses.
I saw someone commented earlier saying that their dream setup was a soundbox with a Prime Go.
Oh,
nice.
Watch.
Eyes closed.
I'd keep an eye on our channels if I were you, mate.
Watch this space.
Absolutely.
This is a good one. Ian James says, "Are you all freelance DJs or do you have residencies?" I was very much a resident DJ when I was working full time. Lawrence. Go on, Holland.
Sorry, no, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say that they're kind of hand in hand. Even when you're a resident DJ, you still work for yourself in a lot of ways. There's very little job security in what we do. So we are always classed as freelance, but I'm on like 4 or 5. Well, I was on about 4 or 5 residencies and then filling in the spare gaps. But it does feel very much in the UK anyway, like you're always a bit freelance.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you have a residency, it's not a case of like with other jobs, you sign a contract and then you're tied into that club. You know, it's a lot less secure, like you said, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
Lawrence, someone's challenged you to do a drop like James Hype. I'm into do one more mix, but this time they dropped them like James Hype.
Hold my beer, right.
Hold on. While you,
give me a couple of minutes.
Yeah, while you load that up. So Duncan on Facebook said, "Evening guys, does Mixcloud Live only work with OBS? I'm guessing, and similar, or can I use Evermix 4box?" Holland, do you have the answer to that?
Mixcloud needs to have a software upload the stream to it, so you would need an application like OBS to stream to it. It's not quite like Facebook where there's a web client yet. OBS is the only free one, so yes, I would say you're going to need OBS. But there are other streaming programs if you don't want to use OBS, but you're going to need something like OBS.
Nice. Freak said, question, do you use any DAW to remix songs, and which DAW do you use? A DAW is a digital audio workstation, something like Logic or Ableton, or even now Serato Studio is a popular one.
Yep.
So I used to use Ableton. Danny, I know
I'm
you.
Ableton.
Yeah, everyone's Ableton. I know Lawrence is just preparing, but he's done some stuff in Serato Studio recently, and he says it's a really good place to start DJ edits, and they have a layer to the Serato Studio software that is built for DJ edits, so that would be a really good place to start. And I think there's a great deal on, like, I don't know, it's like $1 to start at the moment with the software.
Yeah, I think Logic and Ableton are both on 3 months, so like 90 days free trial as well. So if you're looking to get into producing music, now is the time to download and trial these different softwares.
Yeah.
Someone here has asked how to start DJing if there's no club in your city.
Go to the bar.
I think you've got to start with your immediate circle. So can you throw a party for your friends? If it's 10 people, that is great. That's you DJing in front of people. You're gaining experience and you're building up some sort of following, and you can start throwing more parties. I know a lot of people that they will throw parties before they DJ in clubs or bars. Yeah. And if you start building a following, I know people that have built brands out of just having house parties, and then they've taken that brand to a club and actually just put on their own club night, and then that's where you maybe venture further out of your city. But yeah, it's going to be a limitation, but you've got to look past that limitation and think, well, what steps do I need to get to the nearest club that's a city away or 2 cities away? How do I need to get into that circle? The beauty of social media and being online is that we can reach all corners of the earth. So try and put yourself in the corner that you want to be in. There's artists out there that are more popular in other countries than their home country. And that's a common thing. You know, their music gets picked up in other countries because it maybe suits other countries' culture better, and that happens. So don't feel like you're limited by where you live. Lawrence, you ready to do something like James Hype?
I'm ready to do something like James Hype. You ready?
Has James ended his stream yet? I want to see if he's watching this.
We'll tag him in it. Everyone tag him in it.
Don't tag James in this.
What's it gonna be? 'Cause I can't pretend. What's it gonna
Start again.
What's it gonna be? 'Cause I can't pretend. Don't you wanna be more than friends? What's it gonna be? Problems in my head. We don't need no drama. Dance from my body instead. When the night falls on us one by one, we will forget every bit of that drama. Look up on the dance floor. We don't need drama. 'Cause we don't need when the night. We don't need drama. Look up on the dance.
There you go.
Yeah. We need to see a lot of fire emojis going on right now. Yeah, shout out to James Hype, by the way.
Yeah,
we all know him well. He's someone that's been in our circles as DJs. He's been a resident DJ. He's become a guest DJ, and we've known him for a long time. And he's a very, very, very talented DJ. So, yeah, if you don't know who he is, go check him out. He's all over YouTube at the moment, which is great. But there you go. Lawrence smashed it with another artist mix for James Hype.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Great stuff. So we're coming towards the end. We try and keep these to an hour. I know there are so many questions in the comments that we don't get to answer. When this gets re-uploaded, after it finishes the live stream, it'll go onto YouTube, and then you'll be able to comment below the video.
Not the live chat. Get
not
below.
the chat. Go below, and then Holland will be in the comments tomorrow answering all of your questions. But I've actually got something that I want everyone to do. Obviously, this week we were trying to talk about how to set goals at the start and then achieve them, and we've kind of run that theme throughout, but especially at the start of this video we talked a lot about it. But what I want to know in the comments below is, what goals do you have for this year, or the next 2 years, or 3 years, or 5 years? Drop your comment below, not in the chat. Wait till it's re-uploaded, come back to the video and drop it in the comment below, and we can look through.
I'd say after this, go home, get yourself a post-it note and just write 5 things that you want to do by the end of the year. Just write them down.
I'll tell you what, go to the Instagram, send us a DM with a picture of your goals. We'll put them up next week.
Yeah, send a picture on Instagram, 5 goals you want to achieve, and we'll post them out. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much to everyone. We want to see that hashtag We Are Crossfader
where's the family at?
In the chat. Let me get rid of that. Hashtag We Are Crossfader in the chat right now as we run the outro. And we'll see you all in another live stream. This Saturday, I'm doing a mix. I've just got to shout that out on Saturday. I've got a mix. I'm going to be doing it on the Prime Go. And I'm going to have the sound box plugged in my kitchen, and we're going to have a party. I'm going to be taking requests. We're going to be having fun. I'm going to be drinking, and I'd love for you to all join the party. And
we will.
Cool.
Yeah,
right.
amazing.
Let's run the outro. Thanks everyone. See you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.